Well, hello, Glue Troopers, and welcome from St. Petersburg, Florida. Well, I finally finished the book, The Speed Duel. Interesting book, very easy to read, a lot of fun. Probably talk about it at the live stream. I finally had a chance to get work on some models, not on the Nito kit, but I did get on the MPC Thunderbolt. This is actually an old Airfix kit that was made for MPC, and this boxing was probably the early 80s, according to Scalemates. And the kit's pretty much what you would expect from a basically 1960s vintage mold. It says it was made in France, and it's possible that Airfix was having production done in France at that time. The wings are pretty badly warped out of the box. I assume that's just due to age. Could have been exposed to some heat. I mounted the wings and the top halves of the wings on there to try and straighten it out. That really didn't work that well. The rest of it, fuselage halves went together, but clearly it was going to be a putty bomb. The wings needed a lot of stretching and flexing, and that was about as good as I could get by hand. So what I did was I went ahead and, of course, it wasn't the best fit, as you can tell. Went ahead and put some glue around the joint areas, and then put a pretty strong rubber band on the wings to hold it in place. And after letting that set for a while, it seemed to have more or less taken up somewhat closer to a proper shape. Pre-made the landing gears, by the way, the instructions have the landing gear facing the wrong direction, at least according to the build on the side of the box. I'm pretty sure the oleo scissor is supposed to be in the back, not the front. But the fit wasn't that great on any of it. But, you know, it is what it is. It's a late 60s probably mold that was made 20 years later on contract for another company. And it's exactly what you expect from a 1/72nd scale kit of that era. Although the engine was reasonably well detailed for such a small scale. Glad to see they put both rows of the twin row engine. And it actually had a separate gun sight and landing light in the glass. So there were a couple of clear acrylic parts that were, you know, added a little something to it. It went together, the rest of it, without too much argument. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to get this home in one piece now that I've got everything on it. So I decided, instead of taking it home to try and paint it, being what it is, I would just go ahead and decal it, and I'll probably give it to the hotel staff as a thank you. Dropped the decals in the water, and what do you know, they were still good. Although there were a lot of these big white floaties, the decals did need to be washed a fair bit, but they were still usable. Although the decal layout on the instruction sheet did not match the decaled model on the side of the box. However, I believe there were some squadrons at some points in the war that did use 6 markings, one on each side of the fuselage and one on top and bottom of each wing, which was not standard in the Air Force at the time, the American Air Force, but I think there were a couple of times it was done to prevent fratricide. So I went ahead and marked it up that way. However, you will have to trim the decals that go on the bottom of the wing, because the bomb racks, which are in the way, are molded in place unless you're going to grind them off. But anyway, that's what I have for that. The kit was a fun way to spend an afternoon stuck in a hotel room. And guys, I hope you're doing well. Hope to see you at the live stream. Take care of yourselves. And as always, model on.